All right. Welcome to the show. Broadcasting live out of Dallas, Texas. Coming straight at you. Get ready for it. We got lots of news going on today. Hopefully you're doing all right. This here's my buddy J.E. He's a up-and-coming hip-hop artist. I don't know about that popping pills though, J.E. I don't condone drug usage. Got a major epidemic in this nation. Something that we don't hear about in the news enough. I'll tell you something that we do hear about enough in the news is all this Ferguson stuff. I'd say it's wag the dog. Wag the dog. But as hard as they want to, as hard as the mainstream media wants to get their eyes off of this Hillary thing, I don't think it's going away. At least for a little while. But we'll get into that here in a second. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. Dallas, Texas is on the map today. Thank you for joining the show. Let's start it off with a little bit of levity. Let's go into a little bit of a joke here. Well, it's taking a long time to load.
General Chow's chicken from Asian King, $7. One drink, $1.95. Getting home and realizing that General Chow forgot to add one of your boxes, priceless.
So there you go.
General.
Little bit of a joke there. If you like it, hit the good, hit the bad. I've got cheesy on there today. So if that was cheesy, if that was too cheesy for you, you got to hit the cheesy. Trust me, I'm not going to be offended. But even if you do hit cheesy, it doesn't mean you don't use it in the future. All right. I guess we'll jump right back into it. It's the thing that's pretty much blowing up all over the media. And for good reason, because there's a lot more questions involved in this whole incident than there are answers. And it seems like the Clintons just are perpetually in this media scandal cycle. I mean, it just continues. And for some reason, they manage to get away with it each and every time. They end up coming out almost better than they went in. And I think that that'll probably happen on this particular case. But in terms, let's back up and move off of the public relations aspect and look at it from more of a realistic standpoint. And I guess the most important thing that draws my attention is looking at this email scandal in context of the Benghazi scandal. And I know a lot of conservatives have belabored Benghazi, and liberals are tired of hearing about it. They make points, a lot of liberals say that it's just, one guy, or, it was just, a few people. And there's scandals all everywhere else out. There's tons of other scandals going on that involve Republicans or involve other things. Why do we continually seem to be obsessed with that particular issue? And I'll answer that directly. that was a bad beat. What happened in Benghazi was a very, very bad beat. And now these emails show that potentially something could have been found. And the fact that we can't ever really know now because of there not being a record just adds more gray to the already confusing situation. Another thing to consider here from a realistic standpoint is just yesterday, one of the United States' greatest generals, 4-star General Petraeus, was sentenced to a felony breach of sharing classified information with his mistress / wife. And he was sentenced because of just that. And he's gone through a tremendous amount of investigation, a lengthy trial, for sending home a few journals to his biographer for an evening to review for the book. I wonder if Hillary, for this is a very similar situation, she's now turned over 5,000 emails, and she has handled state business on these emails. So that's not even a question. And I just wonder if she'll end up getting the same type of treatment. I doubt it. Another thing to consider is, how did General Petraeus get caught? How was it that his affair was leaked? Well, guess what? He was logging into an email account and sending draft emails to his to the lady he was cheating with. And they would correspond via draft messages. So they'd both log in and send draft messages to one another. Actually, a pretty good idea and a good way to communicate, so they thought. But obviously, I'm not condoning cheating or anything. It's not right. But the idea that Petraeus fell based on basically the government's ability to look into public officials should be. Not only does that ability exist for high-ranking military officials, but it also seems to be a threat to anyone holding public office or basically any position of power. So that's definitely a canary in the coal mine, if you will. So the question is, will Obama jump from Hillary's ship? And he has got to be enraged right now with her. Not only is she, that's crazy. The fact that she's created her own email to correspond with just after the Bush administrators got in trouble for this. So literally, she created this account in 2009. So she did this right after that. She probably said, oh, that's a good idea. And then now it turns out she was talking with one of Bill Clinton's old advisors via email, Sydney something. But Obama's not buddies with him. And so he probably doesn't like that either. And the fact now that this is all going down when just nothing good in the news is going on for the administration. Nothing. The best thing that they could get in the news is Ferguson. And it's still bad news. But he's got Iran. He's got the IRS things coming back. Lois Lerner's emails have suddenly reappeared. He's got Iran. He's got Russia. Got unbelievable amount of tension. The healthcare bill is up in the Supreme Court with a very strong likelihood of being overturned and the subsidies being viewed as unconstitutional. and basically untying all of the work he did in his first term. So he's got to be enraged. And the White House has been getting her back in the press conferences, but I wonder for how long. That's really what this question is aimed at, because they can't stay on this forever. I mean, she broke some pretty significant rules, and now you tied that in with the Benghazi, and it just starts to look really, really bad for Obama. So I'm gonna hit yeah, and yep, we got 100% agreement. Next question: are federal subsidies legal for Obamacare? That's what this Supreme Court case I was alluding to earlier entails. And the oral arguments were heard today. There were folks from the Congress over, Pelosi, a few others. So this is a big, big case, and probably one of the most important cases in United States history, because should the Supreme Court rule in favor of the states, it will be the first time in the entire history of America that an entitlement program has been reversed, a middle-class entitlement program. So that's a good step in the right direction if you're in more of a in terms of a conservative financial platform. All right. The next question is wag the dog material. You've already got kind of a read on what I feel about this, but yeah, absolutely. There's certainly some things involved in those reports that are less than exciting, or less than, not exciting, but less than upstanding. But one email from a guy saying something about Obama, or even the statistics themselves, do not indicate overt racism from what I've been able to read. So we'll have to follow it. I'll put some more posts, and so y'all can make your own decision, but I'm going to say that's wag the dog material. Here's a policy type question, and it asks, should a bully be legally responsible for a suicide attributed to the bully? And that's a crazy question. It must be a really sad day for the bully. I'd hope it would be a sad day for the bully that would receive the news that someone committed suicide as a result of their bullying. Certainly that is sad, and it's problematic, but no, I definitely don't think that someone should be held legally responsible. Not only do you have an issue with creating a law, applying the law, but it's just way too ambiguous. And you start getting into some Minority Report type things where you're looking into the future to see what people did and what caused what. So the answer is no. So Netanyahu gave a speech yesterday, sent shockwaves through the United States, and he basically made a plea to the United States requesting that they not get this deal put through with Iran. And he cited that a bad deal is worse than no deal. And they'll just to allow Iran to simply continue what they're doing. This is a country that doesn't believe in Israel, and it's been said and that's something that the Obama administration does not want to recognize. Okay, they don't believe in Israel's right to exist. And that's just crazy. That is, to me, that's the equivalent of people who believe that the United States is not exceptional. There's no exceptionalism in the United States. They don't believe in American exceptionalism, or someone that says that America needs to be fundamentally transformed. That's the same exact thing. If you don't recognize Israel's right to exist, we're not even in to explore common ground, because there just isn't. Same with the American argument. Same with the fact that anyone thinking that America needs to be fundamentally transformed doesn't appreciate this country, doesn't respect it. I mean, if you look how many people have traveled here. I mean, I heard a story yesterday about Chinese babies that, Chinese moms that come to the United States and have a baby here to get that American citizenship. Why is it that they are that way? Why is it that they pay $50,000 sometimes just to come here and have a baby? Because the citizenship here is so valuable, because it's an open society, it's free market. And yet, with each successive generation, we seem to forget the principles that made us successful. How is it that Californians move to Texas and Austin and Houston every day? They're moving in, bringing their money, and then they eventually end up wanting to change Texas. It makes absolutely no sense. So they forget. Their memories are short. And then things get really bad, and then they want to change them. And instead, setting policies and continuing to grow. But I guess we're just doomed as a human race to go through boom and bust. It just seems to repeat itself over and over again. Is the Obama deal with Iran ridiculous? Absolutely. They are getting further and further. Their silos for nuclear reactors, they've increased. They're almost 75% complete. It is not right for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. They have not proved themselves ready to do so. Noam Chomsky the other day saying that our own argument of nuclear proliferation causes peace, and that he just completely dismisses. He makes a one-sentence statement. Oh, no, Iran would not have any incentive to use a nuclear bomb. And he didn't even back it up. And trust me, I love Noam Chomsky. He's one of my favorites. He definitely has some great points, and he's one of the most cited scholars of all time. But for him just to completely make an assumption like, oh, they won't ever use it, they won't ever use a nuclear bomb, without even giving any justification as to why, it's okay, well, maybe you're that smart, Noam Chomsky, but dumb it down for the rest of us. Why don't you explain to us why it is just absolutely so insane to think that Iran would actually use a nuclear bomb? And that's what happened in North Korea. That's how North Korea ended up with the nuclear bomb. Is that the Clinton administration backed off and cut sanctions, and they used that money and the increased rights and the ability to use their funds, and they avoided the inspectors. Same with Iran. They will just avoid the inspectors. So it is what it is. Let's move on. Joke of the day 3. There's no reason why men's and women's chess are separate events. You can agree or disagree. This one I definitely agree on. I'm going to just go ahead and say right there. Because why? Why does it matter? I mean, if you can win in different leagues, then you can win in different leagues. Will Hillary survive this one? I'm going to go with yes. These Clintons are good. These Clintons are good, good, good. So, all right, there's your news for today. Appreciate y'all listening, and it's been fun. Let's go out with a little bit of music. JE, I've got your music posted here in the links in the bottom. So, folks, if you want to check him out, here he is. Trying to get them in the bathtub. More money, you better have long money. All right, y'all. Take care.